Everyone's going to be different. There's a lot of different business models out there that's going to enable you to achieve a level of financial and location freedom. This is just the one that I chose to do. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. My name is Jordon Barnett. I've been traveling around the world, running my business from my laptop for the last 5 years. And today I want to explain to you exactly how I managed to achieve that. Now, if you're following me on Instagram or any of my other social media profiles, you would have probably seen the lifestyle that I'm living. And so today, instead of having to speak to each individual person and give them the breakdown, I feel it's just much better to create a video that's just going to line out exactly how I went from working a 9-to-5 job, which, to be fair, was quite a high-paying job here in Perth, Western Australia, which is where I'm at now, just here visiting my family for Christmas. So I had a high-paying job here selling cybersecurity. So I worked as a salesperson, but it just wasn't fulfilling enough for me. And years previous to that, I was trying to figure out how to start my own business or to try and make money online. And I went from doing that, having a decent paying job, to now traveling around the world. And like I said, I'm back here to visit my family for Christmas. Just come here from the Philippines. After this, who knows where I'm going to go. I've got plans to go to Europe next year. Miami's on the cards. I want to go and do a tour around China. And I went back there a long time ago, well before COVID, when it was developing. Amazing country. So I've got all of these plans, and I want to be able to tell you guys exactly how I'm able to achieve that, because if I had a video like this 10 years ago, well, I'd be 10 years ahead of where I am today. So what I'm about to share with you is just my journey and my roadmap to doing things, and my opinions and my experiences, okay? Everyone's going to be different. There's a lot of different business models out there that's going to enable you to achieve a level of financial and location freedom. This is just the one that I chose to do. This is the path that I went down. I want to stress that it really depends on your personality type. Everyone's a different type of personality. So if you are, someone that is very social and outgoing, extroverted, you're not going to want to do a certain business model that might require some level of engineering or analytical skills. For example, like a growth consultant, you're probably not going to do something like that. But you can make money online, you can achieve location and financial freedom doing something else that fits your personality type, okay? Now, I'm not a growth consultant, I'm just using that as an example. Yeah, I just wanted to stress that it really depends on your personality type, and there's a lot of different business models. So if you're interested in those business models, and this is something you're really interested in doing, click the links in the description below. There's a variety of different links there depending on what your personality type is and what you're looking for. We've got a community of digital nomads, community of video editors. If you're an entrepreneur looking for videos to get made for your business so that you can scale it, again, click the links in the description below. They're all there. So I want to make this video roughly 10 minutes. We're already a few minutes in, so let's just get started. I spent years trying to figure out ways to make money online, and I would say that it went as far down as me actually going and doing a master's degree at university in order to try and make more money so that I could potentially do something online that would enable me to travel, and that was to be a penetration tester. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's basically a hacker, but you're paid by other companies to hack the company, right? So if you work for, let's say Facebook will approach you and they'll say, hey, I'll give you 100 grand to hack us, and then we'll do up a contract so it's all ethical, and if you find any issues, we'll give you the 100 grand, or there's different models to it. Anyway, kind of going on a rant, but that's essentially what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a penetration tester because you could get paid a lot of money and you could basically travel around the world and go and deal with different companies, and you could hack them, and it just sounded like a really fun type of career that I wanted to go down. So I ended up going to university again for the second time to do a master's degree. The first time I did a degree in international relations. I wanted to work in international security, and I wasn't able to get a job or even a career doing the things that I wanted to do. So I did international relations because I loved the world. I wanted to travel. I wanted to be maybe a diplomat or even a spy or something like that. And yes, you can actually apply to go and be a spy. Just go on an MI5 website, CIA website, or whatever it is. So I wanted to do that. It didn't go down that path. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to achieve that. Maybe it was to do with me, maybe it's just the opportunities that came up, but I couldn't do it. So I looked and hunted for different ways to make money online. I wanted to be a penetration tester. I ended up spending even more money. I went to university to do a master's degree, and I think it was a 2-year degree. I think that the master's degree was 2 years. After the first year and a half, I was offered a job in an IT company. So I thought, hey, I may as well start getting paid for what I'm doing. But unfortunately, I just didn't have the skills to be a penetration tester. I did a master's degree in cybersecurity. There's lots of different pathways that you can go down, and I ended ended up going into a sales position with a company. I did pre-sales at first, which was very engineering type work. And then from there, I moved into more of like a face-to-face sales role, or like an internet marketing type sales role for cybersecurity. Absolutely loved it. I managed to travel around. The company would pay me to go to different places in Asia. I would speak at embassies. I was meeting the people that I wanted to meet, like spies and diplomats and things like that. As a salesperson, the cybersecurity industry was just such an amazing place for me. But the problem was, I just felt really unfulfilled. I just didn't want to work for a boss. It wasn't because I didn't like my boss. It wasn't really because of anything. It's just because I knew that I was destined for bigger things. That might sound egotistical, but I just believed that there was more out of life for me. I didn't want to go to work every day, working a 9 to 5, being in an office, and I couldn't envision myself for the next 10 to 20 years doing the same thing. Yes, you can move jobs and things like that, but for me personally, I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to be free, to be able to go to a different country whenever I wanted, not ask for time off to go on a vacation. And yeah, freedom for me was really the main goal. And so if that's you, keep watching this video, because I'm going to give you a bit of a roadmap on how I managed to achieve that, despite going to university, paying all this money for a master's degree, and basically wasting that money because I didn't really go down that path. So when I was working for this company in sales for a cybersecurity company, I did a lot of research online. I was often on my computer doing like LinkedIn marketing, LinkedIn sales, messaging people. This was back in the day when LinkedIn was kind of new. So most people weren't getting DM'd all the time. If you weren't invited to an event, which is what I was doing, I was inviting people to events. It was like a breath of fresh air, okay? Most of the time, people weren't getting DM'd like they do now. It's a whole different world. So because I was on my laptop often, on my phone often, meeting people a lot, speaking to people, I came across various people online, you could call them influencers or gurus, that sold me on the idea of, well, at first it was to be a consultant. And so the person that sold me on that idea was Sam Ovens. And at the time, there was a lot of different gurus, there's a lot of different business models. You could do e-commerce, drop shipping. This whole consulting idea was a whole new thing for me. And so I ended up paying money for this course. I think it's about $2,000 US, $2,500 at the time. Luckily, I had some savings, so I ate into my savings to do that. Although, like I said, I was getting paid good money. And I did that course, and I just consumed all of this information from Sam Ovens, and the mindset stuff that he gave me in that course completely changed the way that I think about the world. And I believe if you're ever going to buy an informational product or listen to, a coach or a consultant or an influencer, join a membership, whatever it is, they have to give you some kind of paradigm shift to completely change the way that you think. And I believe if you were to ask people who knew me very closely at the time, if they noticed that shift between now and back then, that I probably have turned into a completely different person because of the way that this course taught me to think about the world and the potential for you to make money online without actually having to have a hard skill or to have any real true experience. Now, a lot of people will disagree with that. Like, you have to have experience, you have to have a degree to make money online, to be able to sell to someone. But at the end of the day, if you sell something to someone and it helps them get a result, it doesn't matter if you've got a degree or not, right? It's about helping someone win. That's why people buy things, because they want to either feel good or they want to get some kind of result, right? It's all marketing psychology, sales psychology. It's the way people do things. So I went through that course and I started my own agency. And this is why I believe and why I teach people that selling to a business is going to be far more profitable and easier for you to become location free than if you sell to a consumer. So you have B2B and you've got B2C. B2B means business to business. B2C means business to consumer. If you sell to businesses, you only have to sell to a few businesses before you can replace your salary. Okay, because typically consumers can't pay a lot of money early on. You need to sell a lot of a small thing, so like a low ticket item. Let's say it's $100. You need to sell a lot of that in order to replace your salary. If you've got a $5,000 a month salary, it's a lot, right? If you do the math. However, a business who already is making money and has clients themselves, has cash flow, they have an ability to at least employ one person for $3,000 or $5,000 a month. So it's very easy for them to outsource a piece of work to you and pay you that $3,000 or $5,000 a month. And then you only need like 3 or 4 customers and you're making massive amounts of money early, right? In your business, assuming you can deliver them an actual result. You definitely don't want to scam people. And that's not what this video is about. So I went in the way of selling to businesses. So when I did this course from Sam Ovens, I learned that you have to choose a niche and you've got to offer some very specific service or product to that niche. At the time, I focused on real estate agents. Anyway, that failed quite early on because I just didn't have the knowledge or the skills to be able to do it. And then I ended up changing my niche to IT companies, cybersecurity people, which makes sense because that's what I was doing before, right? And so I ended up quitting my job because I needed to focus on this full time. So that's one of the main things that I want to tell you is that if you're going to focus on trying to make money online, you need to quit your job at some point. You should definitely do both at the same time. So if you're currently in a 9 to 5 and you're trying to make money online, trying to build your own business, try and do two at the same time. I was waking up every day at 5 a.m., working for a few hours, going to my main job, finishing a job, coming home, working again on my business. You need to do that until you figure out if you're going in the right direction or not, because it could be a massive mistake. And so when I was trying to sell to real estate agents, I realized that wasn't the right path for me, but luckily I had my own job that I was working in, so it wasn't such a big risk. But when I changed to selling to IT companies and cybersecurity companies, I realized that my energy was being divided between my job and my company, and I wasn't really giving 100% into either one. So I made a decision to eventually quit my job so that I could go 100% into my business selling to cybersecurity companies, IT companies. And what I was doing at first was Facebook ads. So if you're familiar with the idea, it's just a Facebook ads agency selling that as a service to businesses. And I was charging about $2,000, $2,500 a month. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the mistakes that I had to overcome and the obstacles and the challenges that I had to overcome to get here. The point of this story is that selling to a business is definitely the fastest way for you to achieve location freedom, particularly because you've probably been in a job or you've had a job working for a business. You've probably worked for different businesses in the same industry, or you've had the same job or the same position in a variety of industries. So you've already got a level of experience so that you could sell something to other people. It could be in sales, HR, legal, finance, whatever it is, right? You can literally take your knowledge and start outsourcing that out to other companies, and then obviously make far more money than if you were just to have like a normal job. Instead of one company paying you, you're doing the same job for multiple people. So going into B2B is the fastest way to achieve location freedom. I would always recommend that. And so after doing that for a while, I realized that it wasn't quite fitting my personality type, because although I like marketing and advertising, it wasn't necessarily something that I had a passion for. Yes, you can make money from these things. And that's my point again for this video, is that you need to choose something that's going to be aligned to your personality, because you can make 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand a month and hate doing what you do. There's a lot of lawyers, there's a lot of doctors out there, people in those kind of professional positions who hate what they do because they work all the time. They spent a lot of money and time going through university to get to that point, but they're kind of stuck there because that's what they've decided to do from the very beginning, but they're doing that job and they don't like it. So you need to pick something that's aligned to your personality type, and that's when I realized that I need to be doing something that I enjoy far more. So my business changed over time. It morphed, it evolved into what it is now. And I'm not going to go through all of the stages because this video is going to be far too long. But now I've got a company, Video CEOs, where we build out YouTube channels. We create advertisements, we do things with AI, we're making amazing videos that when my clients see, it makes them emotional. When I see the video delivered to me before I give it to a client, it makes me emotional, and I love that stuff. So now I can safely say I'm doing something that I actually enjoy, as well as making videos like this where I can actually teach people how they can follow in my footsteps to do things. So the roadmap to achieve location freedom to begin with is, of course, to be able to make those decisions. What direction are you going to go? Who are you going to serve? Draw upon your experiences, draw upon your personality type, and pick a business model that works. I chose Facebook ads agency because that's what I learned through the Sam Ovens program. There's lots of different business models you can choose. Do something that you have an interest in that is aligned to your personality. The second thing is to sell to businesses. Do a B2B business model or B2B service model. If you sell to consumers, you have to sell to more people in order to get the same amount of money. It's easier to sell to one person than it is to sell to 10 people, even if what you're selling is $100, okay? It's easier to sell something that's $1,000 to one person than to 10 people for $100. So go and sell to businesses if you want to achieve location freedom fast. From the experience that you get from selling to businesses, you can then create informational products, which is the third step of achieving location freedom. And you can sell information in a variety of different ways. You can sell it as a product, like an online course where someone can just buy, or you can sell it as like a membership community where people pay $50 a month and they get access to different things within the community themselves, as well as the networking opportunities. Both of these are very good methods or revenue generating models for you to make money. It just kind of depends on what you're going to sell. But the key here is to change from selling a service where it's going to require a lot of your time, or where it's going to require a lot of your resources, because the more clients you have when you're selling a service, the more you have to grow, the more employees you need. If you can take that and break it down into selling it as an informational product or as a membership where the information is in the membership, it means you can scale it more and you get more profits. Far more people can join a membership or buy an informational product in mass in the grand scheme of things than you being able to scale by selling $1,000 product or $2,000 product. And when you're doing that, you have to, like I said, bring more employees in. So going from selling services to selling informational products and memberships has been my journey to achieving location freedom. And now, because I've been able to build the systems, the processes, and the infrastructure in order for me to do that, it means that I can travel around the world from my laptop, living in Perth, Western Australia, like where I'm at today, going to Philippines, Thailand, Europe, Miami, China. I can go and do all these things because I've got systems in place where I'm able to sell high leverage. An informational product is high leverage. You make it once and you can sell it thousands or millions of times, even if it's a low ticket product. I've also got my business video CEOs that works in the background as well, where we sell service, because I know that if I can charge $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 to businesses, I can take on a few businesses each month and I'm going to be in a safe position. But if I only rely on a service business model, there's a level of insecurity that I have felt during that time. And if you're in that position now, you probably also feel that, because most service business models have a low retention rate. You might take someone on for a few months and then they decide to bring things in-house, or they lack the results because the more people you bring on as clients, the less attention each client gets. So there's a lot of problems, difficulties, and challenges that's going to occur when you're selling to businesses, but you have to go through those in order to get the experience and the knowledge so that you can create informational products and membership communities that's going to enable you to help other people. And so that's a roadmap, going from figuring out your mindset, matching your personality type to a business model, selling services, ideally to businesses, but you can sell it to people as well. There are people out there that have got successful service-based businesses, B2C businesses that make a lot of money. But from my experience, B2B is far easier. It's also easier to target business owners. And then from the experience and the challenges and everything that you deal with during that time of selling a service, you can then create an informational product or a membership community, which is going to be scalable to the level of like a software. This is why a lot of these companies, a lot of these influencers, a lot of people that get very rich, they create a piece of software because they can have 1 million people using that software for $10 a month, and then you're making buckets of money, far more than if you're just to deliver a service. Even though the service you can sell more, you can sell it for more rather, it's just more difficult to scale. Whereas like a software, a membership, or an informational product, I mean, it's an unlimited amount of scale. So that's my roadmap for achieving location freedom. If you want some help doing this, click the links in the description below. If you've got any questions, leave me a comment and I'll do my best to answer it. But hopefully this has helped you out enough, and I'll see you in the next one.